Hello and welcome to Eastern's Got Talent. We've got a great show for you today. Today we're going to be talking to singer-songwriter Mary Fraser and flow artist Tyrel Bauer.
Hours of yelling and arguments, a Titan goddess put you to sleep. She majored in music therapy at Eastern, and I'm still gearing up to progress in my career. I'm becoming board certified at this point, but aside from that, just Ypsilanti in general is a really amazing town, and there's so many great avenues and outlets just for musicians and artists alike, or just creative people in general looking to do things in the community and businesses in the area. I mean, I think we just use music for so many different purposes, whether it's to release emotions, to celebrate an event, to gear up for working out, or find the perfect music for studying. So I think music is just prevalent in the world in general. But you were never mine, no, you were never I've just been so blessed to meet so many different musicians in the area, and it's always something new and fun. When 2 people, 3, 4, 5 people come together, it's always going to be something new and different when we're creating music together.
Interesting. Usually you hear people talk about the things that they hear on the radio, but your inspiration comes from just the community surrounding musicians that are around you. So that's awesome. So I hear that you play every single instrument, and I've seen her play every single instrument that I could fathom. Favorite instrument live and favorite instrument recording, as far as just fun?
I'm going to cop out and say a few different things. I love playing the drums, I guess, for improvisation purposes, because you don't have to focus so much on the melodic aspect. You just hop in and just create some fat beats. So I love singing like all the time in the car or whatever, but it's always nerve-wracking for recording. So I guess favorite thing to record would probably just be like guitar.
So tell me a little bit about your album, as far as content-wise, and where we can find it.
Okay, yeah, we just released the very end of September our debut called Distortions. It's just a lot of songs I've been knocking back and forth for a while. They didn't really have an outlet for me to play them. I needed a rock band, so luckily I got some friends together and we were able to put it out. And you can find that online at bandcamp.com. Childsleep.bandcamp.com is our webpage, so you can give a listen, stream for free, or download and listen in your car wherever you want to go, that sort of thing. And then in terms of like Bandcamp, that is just a really great website. They work with a lot of independent artists, make it really easy to get their music out there to people for download and name your own price, that sort of thing. It's really, really good.
Very accessible. Now, when did you start playing instruments?
I started when I was like 9. I started piano, started drums in school, did that all through grade school. Probably middle school, I started bass for jazz band. I was kind of a nerd. I was a drum major in my marching band. keep an eye out for, probably I would say maybe early December. We have a lot of other musical acts we like to play with. There's one, for instance, is Rebel Kind. We're gearing up to hopefully play a show with them soon.
So we're going to commercial for now, so we'll see you in a little bit.
I grew up in the Ferndale area. I actually went to Wayne State originally, started music ed there, decided that's not what I wanted to do, and I'd been hanging out in Ann Arbor a lot, so looked into some different programs, and Eastern has music therapy, so that kind of brought me out here, I guess like 5 years ago. It's been a long time. Jeez. I started music classes and basic gen eds when I first transferred mid-year, but then I did get into the music therapy program, and it's nationally renowned. It's an absolutely wonderful program. There's only 2 now in the state of Michigan at Eastern and Western. So I've just been really blessed. It's a great community. Everyone's very supportive. The class sizes are usually a little bit small. We spend a lot of our time together. So just it is really like a family. And just the field of music too is really powerful. So I've just met so many people along the way. There's a lot of bands that I frequently play with. Band to band, we'll set up shows together, but in terms of people that I've written music with, one of my folk groups, like rock ambient, is Little Island Lake, and we play off and on, and they're just a wonderful group of guys. A lot of them spun off and they're in Truman now, and I love hearing them play live too. Since then, I've started my rock group Child Sleep with some also amazing people, and even from that, my drummer in that group has his own songs where he sings and plays guitar, so I get to play in that side project. And then Gregory McIntosh, previously from Great Lakes Youth Society, played with him recently too at BZ's around town. So just all the cafes and bars in the area put on shows, and all the bands just filter in and out. You don't think at all. You just want it all, but you can't have me too. You'll just have to choose. Just walk on by and pretend you don't even know. Look me in the eye, and I try to say hello. So I wrote all these songs that were in my mind. I just knew that they were like rock and roll, just like garage, gritty, kind of nasty in a way. I don't know how to describe it, just gnarly, maybe that's the right word. And at the time I was just playing with my folk group, Little Island Lake, and I was like, I don't really think these songs fit in that band, so I don't really, for a long time I just shelved them. I eventually decided, well, I need to record them before I forget them, so I asked my friend Eleanor Schmidt, to help me record them. And we did that over the span of like a year, and then eventually we basically had a CD, and Ellie was like, why don't we just start playing it live. So we did just the 2 of us gals playing guitar for a while, and that was fun, but luckily Dave Menzo and Scott Kendall came along for drums and bass, and it's just been a riot since then. The new album is called Distortions, and again, these are a lot of songs that I just sat on for a long time, not having my own rock band to play and me sing in. So some of these songs are just snippets of words and things that I've had since maybe I was like 20 years old. So they've been around for a while. And the album, you could get into however many meanings you want. There's a play on distortions, like gritty guitar, but I also named it Distortions after cognitive distortions, which if you know anything about mental health, that's just unhelpful thinking patterns. And so a lot of times when I write music, I know a lot of people will be like, oh, that sounds really dark or sad, or like, are you okay? But the thing is, like, these are just things I need to like get out in the moment, and they might be really extreme at the time, but if I didn't get them out, they'd just be bouncing around inside or whatever. So that's just like how the album kind of came to be, and songwriting is really cathartic and helpful in general. I think a lot of people say that, but it also helps me when I like write a song and it sounds really extreme or black and white, and I'm like, oh, okay, well now looking at it as a third party, just listening to the song, I can see that's not exactly the case, or that's not exactly true. And so this album itself, I think, even though it's kind of like the debut of my own songwriting, I think it's also just been kind of like a milestone in my life, I guess, like moving on to the next chapter.
Next up on Eastern's Got Talent, we have Tyrel Bauer, who's mastering the art of poi and other flow arts. Tell me and everyone who is completely amazed by this but has no idea what it would be called. What is it?
It's called poi, like
Okay.
P-O-I, poi.
Okay,
Basically, it's just a flow art.
awesome. Now explain what a flow art is to me.
A flow art is basically a type of performance that uses fluid motion of some form.
Okay. Explain to me a little bit more about these flow arts. Like, is hula hooping technically a flow art?
Yeah, like all the flow arts have a couple different forms. Like there's clearly like practice sets, there's LED ones like I have, and then normally there's like fire variations.
Oh, wow.
So I actually spin fire too, which I don't have with me, but there's fire variants and LED variants of most of the flow arts. So you have like hula hoop, poi, fire staff, juggling, and like juggling clubs, juggling balls, all of the variations with that.
Wow, that's great. Explain what Flojo is.
Flojo is in Ann Arbor every Tuesday night from 9 to midnight.
Okay.
Group of performers get together and just practice these flow arts. So you get everything I already listed, but we also get people who practice combat or stage fighting. You get people who do aerial acrobatics like aerial silks.
Wow.
You get partner yoga practice there too.
So can people come who don't know anything about it and just want to learn?
Oh yeah, everybody there's really friendly, and for the most part, people will lend out, we call them toys there. They'll lend out their toys to people. All you have to do is ask and hope they're not being in use. Most everybody there is really friendly.
What advice would you give to somebody who wants to start juggling or their different kind of flow art?
Find one that you enjoy and practice it a lot, because it's just like any other art form. Like if you're drawing, when you start, you're probably not going to be that good.
is the scary part, and as you guys can see or cannot see, I have my gym shoes on, so it's about to get really, really real. Could you show me just a little bit as we do our outro?
Sure.
Awesome.
Here's a set for you.
Uh-oh. This is about to be dangerous, y'all.
It's a practice set.
Get a good shot of the shoes if you haven't already. Okay.
Okay, so basically for poi, it's nothing but circles that you're manipulating around your body.
Uh-huh. Uh-oh.
So just start going.
You gotta slow down. This ain't work. All right, I got the circles. Check it out.
Most of it needs to be in the wrist though, because your arms,
I'm like, woo!
your arms are where you get
All right.
the actual tricks from. Your wrists just do the spinning. Yeah, unless you're ambidextrous, you're not going to be able to pick this up right away. I'm right-handed, so any trick I do with my left hand, it still derps out a fair amount on me.
Okay.
And then, so basically if just getting it spinning like this, what you should try to do is just cross over. I lived in Colorado until I was about 12, and then I moved up to Michigan, specifically Saugatuck, Michigan, over on Lake Michigan, and then I was there until I graduated high school, and then I came out here to Eastern in fall of '07. I was looking to major in Japanese language, and at the time, Eastern was only one of 3 universities in the state of Michigan that offered a major in it. When it comes to poi, it's just if I hear a really good song, it kind of like pushes me to want to do something to the song. I mean, it's kind of like an art piece because there's a lot of different like set moves, and it's how you like tie the moves together. So it's kind of like a musical piece in some ways, and then in other ways it's close to a martial art because of the body control and the muscle memory you need for it. So it's a very active piece of artwork is one way I like looking at it.
Every day you were
So it just lets me vent a little bit and show off a little bit when I'm in the mood, but that's kind of rare. On Tuesday nights in Ann Arbor, there's a place called Flojo, where just a general group of performers get together to practice different flow arts. So like poi, hoop, aerial acrobatics, regular juggling. So that's like the one set practice space I have every Tuesday night. Other than that, I tend to just like camp outside of a building and practice. There's a lot of people there that have been doing it for 10 plus years. And everybody there is really friendly, so if I like get stuck on a move or I want to learn a new move, I just go up and say, hey, if you got a second, can you teach me? And normally they're like, sure, and they go with it. We don't like have a set member list or anything like that. It's just people show up and practice. So on like a slow night, we can get 20 people, and I think we've had upwards of 50 to 60. It's important to have outlets because it lets people express themselves, and it's also just a good way to unwind from the stresses of, day-to-day life.
My control, you struggled, I gave all my love, but you lost hope. Oh, oh, oh.
I also use it as a good study break tool because, you can only focus on studying for so long and then you do something, and it's, I can play a 4 or 5 minute song and call that my break and then go back to studying. There's a lot of videos on YouTube, on Tumblr, of people who have done it from like world round. So there's a lot of great performers I can watch. And it's just kind of the motivation of, oh, I want to be able to perform. Like, I'm not looking to make a living in performing it, but I like to be able to say that I'm comfortable enough where I could actually go get paid for performing. Poi is mostly about looking fluid and not like stalling to do a move transition, which in that form is why it's kind of like a martial art, because you know a bunch of separate moves, but unless you can like link them together and make it a fluid motion, you're not going to do anything productive with it.
Thanks for stopping by Eastern's Got Talent. I'm Felicia Smith, and I'll see you next week. All right, I'm gonna keep trying to cross over, but sadly we've run out of time. So thank you guys so much for hanging out with us here at Eastern's Got Talent. I'll see you later. Woo! That's crazy. I wish that the camera could really capture the amount of amazement that's in my face right now, because I just could not, I would smack myself in the face so many different times. It derps out. I like that.
Derps out.
Y'all getting this? I hope you are.